Good morning. Hi, I'm Veronica Adepoju, and welcome to Beauty and Fashion Talks here on Arise TV. Join me every Saturday morning from 10 to 10:30 a.m. to engage in conversation on the latest fashion and beauty news, trends, as well as discussing with major key players in fashion and beauty within Africa and globally. Today, we will be taking a look at the close of Paris Fashion Week. We will also be taking a closer look at Glitz Africa Fashion Week, one of Africa's premier fashion events currently taking place in Ghana. And in beauty news, we will be showcasing some of the new lip stains from Nigerian's homegrown brand, House of Tara. Our guest today on the show is Funke Adepoju. She'll give us an insight on her rise in the fashion industry and chat with us on her latest collection. We have a great show in store for you, so don't move a muscle. Let's start today with a quick look at the close of Paris Fashion Week. Janaya Furman becomes the first Black woman to open up for Louis Vuitton, Nicolas Ghesquière, French designer and current creative director of the House of Louis Vuitton. He presented his spring 2018 collection with a vibrant young Black silhouette. Janaya Furman, a Southern California drama student, began her career last season on the runway for Proenza Scula. She was later chosen by casting director Ashley Brokaw for Louis Vuitton's Fall 2017 show and quickly became a favorite featuring in the fashion house editorials and ad campaigns. With me right now is Arise contributor Ian Adofran to chat about some of Paris runway looks, Louis Vuitton sneakers. Thanks, Ian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good, nice to have you in here. So we just want to talk about some of the looks that we've seen for fashion that has shown up right now in Paris.
Yes, very interesting. Paris is actually my favorite
season.
Yeah,
one of the best shows that you actually like. Yeah, so let's just talk about some of the things that we've seen. The Christian Dior matching sets. We'll talk about that. Some of the things that we liked.
Dior was really nice, but I'd say starting with what's on now, it's Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, the Louis Vuitton.
I think Ghesquière's, use of sneakers.
It was really good in the show, right? The matching sets, the Elisab, the ombre. Exactly. And how about the Valentino with the statements?
Yeah, Valentino with statement colors really nice. You know, the reds were really popping, and I think every now and then you need like statement color for your wardrobe.
And then Stella John.
Stella John always with the stripes. I love her. Stripes and the fringe, and also the statement sleeves. And exaggerated sleeves are a thing now.
Sleeves was a big thing. Yeah, I think so as well. Those there were so many looks from Paris, obviously, but for me, those were some of the ones that I think that women can incorporate in their wardrobes, don't you think?
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, Ian, for joining us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Just last week, on September 30th, David Bowler hosted his Bowler 30 high-end fashion show for an exclusive audience. The event showcased his Spring-Summer 2018 contemporary collection for men and women. Fashion editors and, of course, influencers were among the high-profile esteemed guests that were invited. If you don't know about David Bowler, the fashion brand, then let me fill you in. David Bowler is a fashion brand with a primary focus on menswear tailoring. In December 2012, the brand made its first appearance at the Music Meets Runway in Lagos, and it then went on to become the official clothing brand for Brazil for the Super Eagles platform. It plans on branching out into other areas of fashion, including ready-to-wear, clothing items, leather goods, and fragrance, just to name a few. Glitz Africa Ghana Fashion Week has started, and it is one of the biggest fashion events here in Africa, and is taking place currently now at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra. The show will feature upcoming talents and seasoned designers. Here are a couple of designers to look out for during the show. Kemi Edu of the Aisha Kemi label, Totally Ethnic, Bello Edu, and Aisha Ayensu, a fashion favorite brand, Christy Brown. We will bring you updates from the Ghana Fashion Show next week. Bello Edu is an African fashion label that was established in 2014, founded by Elima Bello. The brand produces 2 major collections a year and have enjoyed relative success. They have been featured in popular magazines such as Teen Vogue and Wanted magazine and have been nominated for the 2015 Ghana Fashion Award Emerging Fashion Brand Vision. It's conservation, timeless, and functionality. Bello Edu's brand identity continues to develop with its aspirational approach to design, quality, and craftsmanship. House of Tara, founded by Tara Durotoye, who is and has created one of the first international standard makeup brand schools in Nigeria, is also recognized as having one of the best retail brand stores and makeup schools across Nigeria. They recently launched into the market a new collection of lip stains, which are now available at their stores nationwide. So I want to say, if you are a lover of makeup, you need to stop by their stores and definitely pick yourself up one or two at the most. Stay tuned to Arise. We're heading for a short break, but when I come back, I'm going to have a fantastic guest, favorite Funke Adepoju, in the store, here to fill us in on everything that's been happening in her store and with her label. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's Fashion and Beauty Talks, and I'm Veronica Odeka. Good morning, Funke. I have Funke Adepoju in the studio. Good morning, Funke. Great to have you on here joining us. How does it feel to be in the studio early in the morning?
It feels fantastic. It feels good.
Great to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you so much,
So
Veronica.
I'm really excited. You're one of my favorite fashion brands here in Nigeria, and it's really good to have you in to discuss fashion and everything that's going on with your label and your brand. And I know that there's so much great things that we want to share with all our viewers who are tuning in. So let me first of all start by asking you how you got started. Tell us about the Funke Adepoju brand.
Okay, yeah. So the brand started as a hobby. I was doing it while I was in university.
Okay.
And I got a lot of orders. I would make a few things for myself, and people would ask, oh, where did you get this from? So I started to make stuff for my friends, and then their sisters, and then their aunties, and their mom, and that's how we started.
And then you just eventually grew the brand into...
So we grew the brand into... So we started as Funke Freak, but then we changed the name. I mean, we incorporated another, which now became Funke Adepoju, which is the high-end line.
High-end line
yes.
as well. So tell us a little bit more about your aesthetic for your brand. You know, I know, like you said, obviously it was a hobby, and then you started making things, but along the line, people, you know, gain their aesthetic. So how did you get your aesthetic, or what would you say is what people identify your brand with?
Okay, I think what my people identify the brand with is the ability to be able to cater to the average Nigerian woman. To cater to, I mean, we do all sizes. We do the bigger, the fuller women. We do the slimmer women. So I think it's the ability to be able to attract everyone and be able to accommodate everyone. So the average Nigerian woman will be able to come into our store.
So the lady who, I'm saying, for instance, you get a lot of customers that come in and they say, you know, I have a church function, or I'm a bride.
Exactly.
You know, or
we have people that go to church. We have brides. We have people that go to work. We have people that, I mean, what we do mostly is we cater to people going to Nigerians, Owambes and things in Nigeria. So, I mean, we have that every other weekend. So, I mean, that's a big seller for us. So that's why everybody's able to relate with the brand.
Tell me, is there a particular kind of fabric that you like to work with? So I know sometimes some designers say, okay, Ankara, that's my safe haven. That's what my customer wants. You know, what have you found to be what your customer identifies? What is it that they want when they come in? Is it silk? You know, do you work more with cottons?
I think that most people will work more with, I would say, traditional fabrics. So Ankaras, laces, like what I'm wearing now. We do a lot of mix with Ankara and other patterns, but Ankaras and laces, I think that's what we work with the most.
Okay, and tell me about showcasing for fashion shows. So I know that you've definitely done Arise before, and I want to know, like, what goes on behind the scenes? What's the build-up for someone like you? Because it sounds like you do a lot of bespoke, that your customers come in. So how do you balance that when you're preparing for a big showcase, like a fashion show?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We do a lot of research. We do a lot of sleepless nights.
But I can imagine.
Yes, we do a lot of we do a lot of work and research, and because it's different from what we normally do, we just, I mean, we put a lot more work into it. We do a lot more. We go on the internet. We go on we look up stuff, and I think that's how we come up with it.
And so for something like your brand that has grown, started off so small, and all of a sudden, before you know what's going on, you're this massive, big brand in Nigeria.
Thank you.
What is it, the team like? You know, so there are a lot of people who are watching who are probably saying, okay, you know, yes, you're a designer, but you have to find that balance between ready to wear and, of course, your bespoke, which you're catering to all of them. How is it behind the scenes working with the team? Do you still have the small team that you started with? Do you outsource a lot of things? Has your team grown? Tell us about the back end.
Okay, so for the back end, we do a lot of, we do a few outsourcing, but we do a lot of, I mean, because a lot of my staff I've worked with over the years, 4 years, 5 years. I think what we've learned to do is manage the ones that we have. So most of them, you can give them a bit more money, you can promise them a bit more, and then you can promise them something to keep them going. I think they work better under pressure, to be honest. Yes, so we try and push them.
We all kind of work better under pressure a lot of times, right? In our system or whatever. So do you feel like, I know in Nigeria, people say it's very hard to find staff that you can work with, keeping staff to work with you. You've just mentioned now that your staff has, some of them have been with you.
I agree.
Oh,
because
so it is a bit difficult.
I've had staff that have worked with me 5 years, 6 years, and I have ones that came and worked for just a few months.
And then they leave.
Yes, so I think that's, you find a balance. So you find the ones that will stay, you find the ones, but you have to keep going. So even if they stop, they continue, you just have to keep going. You take some along the line, you keep some, you let some go.
Okay. So thank you so much. So we're going to go on a quick break right now, and then when we get back, we're going to discuss some more with Funke Adepoju and find out about how she gets balance within her brand. Welcome back to the show, and here with me today is renowned women's wear designer Funke Adepoju. How are you, Funke?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I'm having a good time.
So we were talking about what happens behind the scenes before we went on a really short break. But now that we're back, I definitely want to kind of switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about balancing. As a mom, as a fashion designer, how you find balance between your work and your family.
Okay. I have a good support system. Because I don't know how any woman would do it if she didn't have a good support system. It's very, very difficult. It's very demanding. But I have a good support system, and my husband is amazing. He loves to hang with the kids. So, I have him who's, when I'm not there, he's doing that for me. And I have good staff. I have my nannies, I have my driver.
And
so,
it's a good...
Yeah, it's a good balance.
Yeah, and
so
I know
think
that you
need
had
that.
One, and so
yes,
now that you're back.
I just had a baby. He's not a baby anymore, but yes, I just had a baby.
Well, he still is your baby.
Yes, I know. He always is.
So how is that taking him? Do you take him with you to work?
Yes, I take him to work with me. But now he's a bit older, so I can leave him at home. But when I was taking him, which was just a few weeks ago, it was a bit difficult. But I can understand how it is for a mom who can't take their kids to work.
Who have actual career jobs.
Exactly.
And so I guess for you, one of the good things you can say, even for me, as a stylist and being involved in fashion, I can have that balance, because even though we talk about how stressful it is on one hand from being an entrepreneur, I think the good thing is that you can kind of create your own schedule, right?
Yes, you can take them with you, So you can work around them, or you can have an appointment, but you can move the appointment, or you can... So it works well for me. So, I'm happy to be able to take him to work.
I totally agree. I think we can relate on that. And I think a lot of women can definitely relate in that as a mom. So I also want to talk about something exciting. You've been styling celebrities. And, of course, when you start designing, I think you're not necessarily thinking, oh, I want to get my things on this, but you have a cult following of celebrities that continually seem to love and wear your brand.
Oh, yes,
how has that been for you? Do you know what I mean? Is there a difference?
It's interesting. I just think it's a blessing. I think it's a blessing. I think that it's good to have a brand that people want to relate with.
Yes.
And I think when your product, you kind of try and perfect your product.
Yeah, put out a really good...
Yeah, it's a good product. I think people will...
I've seen Tiwa Savage definitely has worn a couple of your things. Toke Makinwa has come
wore one and she killed
several times. And how does that help your brand? When you find a celebrity wearing your pieces, because not only, if a celebrity is wearing something, that means that they actually really like it, because obviously they have a lot of choices, but they like your stuff. And then wearing it enough to give you credit for it and saying that she made this piece for me. So how does that make you feel?
It makes you feel, it's very liberating.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like, because sometimes it's hard. You think, am I doing the right thing? Are people going to like it?
My stuff,
exactly.
you know?
So, I mean, and I don't think that at any point when you become, I think at every point, you still want that sort of gratification to say, okay, yeah, people like it. Yeah. So it's actually good, it's interesting, it's a wonderful feeling. It's nice,
to get them wearing your stuff.
And then obviously because everybody wants to be part of a brand that, I mean, the celebrities are wearing. So it's good for us because then we get even more followers.
More customers. So this thing does work when they say celebrities endorsing or wearing it. Because I know a lot of times before, even when I was styling, it was a big problem. People didn't want to give you clothes as a designer because they're just like, I mean, it doesn't really...
It doesn't result to sales.
It doesn't result to sales. If a celebrity is wearing your piece, I mean, really, they're like, most of our clients are going to say, she's worn it, I don't want it.
Exactly.
So sometimes they say good publicity is not really good publicity because nobody's going to want it. But you're here saying now that
it's not. I think
it's kind
now,
of, you think things are changing?
Yeah. I think with the evolution of fashion now, it's almost like, okay, that celebrity was wearing this, okay, and it got this sort of buzz. I think I want to wear it as well.
Yeah.
So it's good for, I mean, the fashion industry.
And it helps everyone's pockets.
Exactly.
And I'm sure your tailors are happy, like, what I made,
they have more work.
So is wearing it, so that's really
definitely.
good. Well, one of the things, on a little bit more of a serious note, I do know that in the fashion industry, people have complained about pricing. Okay. And, you know, we're always trying to compare our prices to what it is internationally. Like, oh, why am I paying so much money for this here when...
I get a dress for $50 in America.
In America.
Why am I paying $150?
Why am I paying so much money here?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, here
highlight us.
Yes, okay, so here we have a lot more things that go into it.
Yes.
I mean, they don't have infrastructure problems. I'll be direct. They don't have NEPA problems. They don't have to buy, but here we have to buy diesel. Also,
so like, tell us how many hours you buy diesel tonight. Your diesel is running.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. Yeah. I have a client who is getting married soon, and it's a bit, I mean, she has quite a few things that we have to make. The tailors have to work tomorrow, Sunday. We don't really work on Sundays. But they're going to have to work on Sunday to be able to meet up with the time. So we're going to run the diesel the whole day to bribe the tailors or to make them feel better.
Just to compensate them.
Exactly.
Let's use the word compensate.
Yes, to compensate them, we have to give them, we have to feed them.
Feed them, yeah.
Yeah, so
and make
at
it
least, I mean, twice. So probably morning, because usually they should be at home.
Yeah.
We're trying to get them to work extra, so you have to give them that. You have to also pay them extra for making the outfit. You have to make it worth their while.
Yes.
And that obviously results to charging the customer more. Even on a regular day, petrol. You have to buy diesel, you have to buy petrol, lining, your tailors. I mean,
there's just so many little factors that go into it. And not even to talk about, you know, because obviously your infrastructure. So if you're renting your space and you know, keeping your lights on, your salesperson, just all those different things that have to come into play.
And then also to keep your staff, you kind of have to pay them well. I mean, I don't know how it works everywhere. I mean, also another problem is because abroad they have numbers. Yeah. So you have a Zara or you have a
high street store.
High street store. And they're making 5,000, 10,000
So the manufacturing.
Exactly. But here we're making one, and it has cost you an X amount to make that. You have paid for diesel to make that. So of course it has made it more expensive.
So basically, what we're saying here now is that technically everyone you're paying for bespoke. So I definitely know one thing: when I either source a piece for a client of mine, if I travel abroad and I'm trying to get them a piece, for that particular item to be made, it's going to cost you, the manpower to make it, it costs you a lot. Exactly. So technically, let's put it in terms that here, really, you are getting
and if you think about it here, you want it tomorrow. If you went to a Lisab to get a dress, it would take you 2 months to get it. Yeah. But here, you've given me 2 days. I have to pay for it. I have to, So it will result in it costing what it's costing.
I can definitely understand. So I want to talk more about what is in store for the brand. Now that you've grown so quickly, you've become a household name, you've solidified your position. I know that you get a lot of orders internationally now. You get people calling you all the way from the US, from the UK. Tell me, where's one of the furthest places that somebody has placed an order from you? That it wasn't like a friend and she traveled and she said, Funke, I'm going to Australia, please can you make me a dress?
I think the farthest place for me was, let me try to remember now.
Was it somewhere like South Africa or?
No, because South Africa.
Or maybe even Canada, because Canada's kind of far.
Yes, Canada.
You've had
in fact, when the lady asked me, no, we got one in Austria as well. And I thought,
oh, wow.
How do we ship to Austria?
How did she find you? How did she say she found
Instagram.
you? Instagram. Yes. So social media does definitely work for you.
It definitely does. Social media. I mean, the difference between when we started working on Instagram properly, and when we didn't, it's huge.
Oh, wow.
So we have, I mean, now we have customers just walking into the store to buy stuff because they've seen it on Instagram. I mean, when there was no, in fact, I was telling my friend the other day, I said, I hope Instagram does not decide to start charging because I don't know how we're going to be able to cope.
I can only imagine.
Exactly.
Because it's a very visual
visual,
platform.
yes. And you have, I mean, you send somebody a DM, so it's almost like instant gratification. I send a DM, I want this dress, where am I? Okay, I can send it to, and they can get it immediately. So it's almost, I mean, so it works for them.
Yeah,
it
so
works for
how
everybody.
about the online orders? And you haven't had any problems like with your shipping and stuff like that?
To be honest, we actually did have a few issues with them because it was too expensive. But I mean, they're different. I mean,
channels and avenues to kind of find out.
And it's with Instagram, they've started approaching us as well. Oh, do you need to ship things?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, really.
So it's good. It's good. So I mean, we're definitely working on our international orders. That's actually one of the things. So in the next couple of weeks, that's actually under. I mean, we're working on
so people wanted to. So if you're somewhere, if you're out there and you're saying, okay, I love what Funke is doing. And by the way, Funke definitely made my piece. I think I forgot to mention that. Funke made my absolutely amazing piece. And I think this is from a collection, because you definitely do the bespoke, but you also have the ready-to-wear. So is this is from
this is from the Capsule Collection that we did. That we did just for the summer. And the reason why it's a capsule collection is that I find that with the bespoke, we don't have a lot of time.
Yes.
But I also love to design what I want to do. So that's why we decided to do like little capsule collections from time to time, and then we can put that out and then start to sell that out.
Okay. Oh, that is wonderful. So I want to ask you one last thing about your bridal. I know you mentioned that a little bit.
Yes.
So you do seem to take orders for bridals.
Yes.
Do you do the, what do they call it, the second?
Yes.
The second, you get a lot more.
So we don't make wedding dresses.
Okay, so you don't make wedding dresses?
No, we don't make wedding dresses.
Is there a reason why? Or just not yet?
It's not one of the, I'm not really interested in wedding dresses.
You're already doing well.
I'd like to leave that to the, yes. So I'd like to focus on the second dress, which I feel is a bit more relaxed. I think the wedding dress is a bit uptight. The bride is stressed. I'm stressed. The tailors are stressed. I don't want that. But the second dress can be a bit more laid back, can be more sexy, can be more, I mean, they're not wearing that to church.
Yeah.
So I think the second dress for me, and also the traditional, what they wear, we do a lot of that. In fact, most of our focus is on the traditional.
The engagement.
Yeah,
so
the
if
engagement.
Not, because obviously our audience is not only here, so if you're abroad, definitely what you mean is
the engagement,
which of course is the second.
So the traditional, the more traditional parts of it, yes, that's what we do a lot of. So we do that, and then we do the second dresses where they change, because everybody changes from their wedding dresses now to dresses that they can dance in.
They want to be free. They want to be able to just move and have a really good time.
Yes.
I totally
so the wedding, so the second dress is what I mean, and that's what we focus on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's watching us, can you just tell us how they can find you? How can people find you?
Okay, so you can find us on Instagram. On our Instagram handle is at Funke Adepoju, and we're on Facebook, Funke Adepoju as well. And then we have a website.
Oh, website.
Yes, so it's
I like
www.funkeadepoju.com. I'll say it one more time. So it's www.funkeadepoju.com, and then we have email, which is funkeadepoju1@gmail.com. So you can find us on that.
So definitely, if you are interested in one of her amazing pieces, they've heard the information, definitely call you, definitely send a text message, definitely go on Instagram, social media, or whatever, stalk you, send you a DM. Do you reply DMs? So you can send you a DM message?
Yes, we do reply DMs. So you can slide into our DM and send us a message.
And great, fantastic.
Yes.
So hope you have enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching Fashion and Beauty Talks here on Arise TV. I thank my guest, Funke Adepoju, for coming on the show, and I'm sure we'll be looking out for you and seeing more about your brand.
Yes?
Until next time, everyone, be blessed.